why it's physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally impossible to achieve and become your best self alone. Okay, ladies, I'm back, and today I'm feeling it. I have a really interesting and hopefully insightful podcast for you today. So, depending on where you are in your journey, your personal development journey, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you're going to hear my words differently. It's like reading your favorite book over and over and over again and hearing something different. So before I even dive into today's podcast, I want to remind you that I've been having some really juicy, beautiful conversations with people who have filled out my interest form. So what I decided to do, instead of opening the doors to my Mastery and Soul Elite programs, I've changed up my offerings a little bit, and we'll still be doing a Mastery and Soul Elite launch shortly, like really talking about what's entailed. But I kind of this is a soft opening. So what I decided to do was invite people to go to Heather Chauvin, last name spelled CHAUVIN.com/take back control. And it's not an application, it's an interest form. So this is simply for you. It's just an invitation. So it's like I'm inviting you to my home, and I'm really not literally inviting you to my house, but the point is it's an invitation to see. I want to hear from you. I want to know what your dreams are. I want to know what your vision is. I want to know where you feel challenged. And there's also a question on there that says, what would you like me to talk about on the podcast? And I've been getting amazing, amazing feedback. So that's super helpful for me. And the last question is, are you currently seeking to hire a mentor? And it says yes, no, and maybe. If you say no, I think the question is, if I feel it's a good fit, would you like me to reach out? And if you write no, then you won't hear from me. If you write maybe, but I'm not actively seeking a mentor, and I read your form and I don't think I can help you, you most likely will not hear from me. If you write maybe and I feel like I can be of service, then you'll hear from me as well. And if you are actively seeking a coach and your interest form lines up with if I can be of service to you, then I will reach out and we can get on the phone. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com/take back control. Absolutely no pressure. I want to hear your vision. I want to see where you feel challenged, and I want to learn. I want to answer your questions. So there's a box for that too. Okay. So back to today's topic. Here's the thing. We cannot do this alone. And when we have the belief that we need to do this alone, we get stuck. We get frustrated, we feel overwhelmed, and we start beating ourselves up. I would not be alive today, physically alive, if I didn't ask for help. I would not have survived stage 4 cancer if I did not ask for help from doctors, from naturopaths, from therapists, from coaches, from mentors, and chronically seeking advice and feedback from people when I had a challenge. I would not be the mother I am today without coaches and mentors. I would not be the wife I am today. I would not be the business owner I am today. I would not be the human being that I am today without support. It literally all started with asking for help in any area of my life. And when I started to let go and pull back the layers on this belief that I need to do it all, that is when things started to change in my life. I had a really groundbreaking conversation with a colleague who I'm just going to call her a hypnotherapist. But this woman does some amazing energy work, and I get energy work a lot. I am a huge advocate of it. And her and I were having a conversation, and she mentioned something that was mind-blowing to me, because I said to her, she said, "Is there anything you want to tell me?" And I said, "Yes. There's a part of me that feels guilty and like I'm poo-pooing on myself, that I should be able to figure this out on my own. And logically, I know that is complete bullshit, because logically, I know that when you're stuck and you're beating your head against the wall and you can't figure it out, that is when you need to ask for help before it explodes in your face. And I also know that when people tell me that, I can see it differently. I'm not emotionally attached. And I'm like, why are you suffering? Like, why are you choosing to suffer and struggle through this? I can help you. I can make your life easier. Let's go. Let's make magic happen. So in that moment, as I was talking to my colleague and she was helping me through this, and then we started doing some energy work, I surrendered and I said, I receive your help. And in that moment, you know, you open up to vulnerability. You open up to somebody else being able to support you. And so many times in my life, I had to let go and be open to receiving. Be open to receiving support. Be open to receiving love. Being open to, like, there's just so much there. And as I said this to her, she said this groundbreaking thing to me. And this is what I want you to walk away with from today's podcast. You can do this by yourself, Heather. You are actually the one orchestrating your healing in this moment. My job is to be your guide and to hold some of the weight for you during this time. I'm not doing the work for you. You're doing the work. I'm just guiding you and reminding you how to come back and home to yourself. And she said, this takes 2 hands to hold. And she meant 2 sets of hands. You hold the consciousness and I will hold the subconsciousness. And for whatever reason, when she said it, I went, this makes sense. And it reminded me of moments. Everyone has assistants in life. You think about, you go to your doctor's office, there's a receptionist. And it even reminded me of like a mechanic on your car. When you're sitting there, I've never worked on a car, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But when you watch the mechanic, if he's knee deep in the car, right? And he's trying to do something, he'll have somebody outside of the car say, "Can you hand me this? Can you hand me that?" And this is how I see mentorship in my life. This is how I see coaching. This is how I see any service provider that I ask for help. My doctor, a therapist, my children's teachers, my children's tutors, my children's friends parents, my neighbors. There's no me saying, do the work for me. It's me saying, show me where I need to be guided. It's so I can find the light. And I wanted to clarify, because I get a lot of people saying, okay, you talk about radical ownership and radical responsibility and putting your big girl pants and doing it, being independent. But then you talk about collaboration and seeking help, and it takes a village. But when everybody's holding their own weight and you realize that you are responsible for your results, but when you can bring people into your life and say, hey, you have a skill, you have a mindset, you have a way of being in the world, you have education that I want more of. I want to tap into that. Show me, guide me. How did you get there? Point me in the right direction. Tell me what street to go down, and I will go down that street. Emotional, physical, mental, spiritual growth requires guidance. So listen to it. So my challenge or journal prompt or aha for you today is, where do you feel guided to ask for support? Now do it. You're not a failure. This is part of the process.